All right, we're here with Desoto Head Coach Claude Mathis. Appreciate you, Coach Mathis, for joining us today.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, how does it feel to be a Texas State 7-on-7 champion?
Well, I'm happy for our kids. Our kids have really worked hard. It's tough. It's tough to win those things right there, especially when you have a 113-degree temperatures one day, then 106 one day, and then you have those games, 5 games back to back like that, the way we were, with only really a 1 minute rest halftime. It's pretty hard, man. It's brutal. So I commend our kids and I commend our parents, man. They did a really good job.
What is it about this group, their resiliency to go out there and execute all weekend long, like you talked about in the conditions?
Well, they're a very close-knit group. They've been growing up together for a long time. They know each other really well. They hold each other accountable. They get along really well, and they're always having fun, man. They really are. They if you didn't know any better, you think they brothers throughout the whole time they've been alive. So, but it's been good. Been watching them, grow up and really just overcome a lot of obstacles in their lives, and they did that.
Let's talk a little bit about the offense, led by DJ Bailey, Jonte, of course, Day Day, Trey, a couple of those guys. Talk to me about those guys' performance.
Well, you know what? I thought those guys did a really, really good job. I thought, Jonte, they tried to basically double team Jonte a lot, and basically they did, and it still didn't do any good. But, they always rolled coverage his way. They had a big, impressive game, man. He really did. He had some huge catches throughout that game. DJ was leading the team. I mean, after that first ball game, DJ settled down from Friday's first ball game and then just went on a tear throughout the rest of the weekend. And Crimson Mathis is a guy that killed. He had an unbelievable weekend, especially in the semifinal game and the championship game. He made big plays after big play after big play. So, the offense has a lot of guys that on that offense that can do a lot of damage. It's just not just those guys right there. There's a lot more that's playing really well too as well. So the offense was clicking pretty on all cylinders on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Crimson's doing good. I know he had a big spring last spring.
Yeah.
Got hurt last year, so we'll be definitely looking out for him. Now, who were some defensive standouts? Well, 7 isn't designed for defense, but flying around, and you got a lot of good DBs and a couple other guys. Who were some of those guys that stood out for you?
Well, I'm gonna get to those guys with offense. They want to figure out in with Trey Wisner and Said. They had a really good game too as well. Those guys Said probably had one of the best catches I've ever seen in high school football history. For that kind of history, even NFL in college, man, it was just an unbelievable catch. But it was just so many, man. You had Singleton that had a great game, came off the bench and helped us out. Crochet had a big game. It's just so many guys on offense that you can name. Going back to the defense, they didn't give up a touchdown on Friday. The number ones didn't give up a touchdown at all, and that's hard to say in 7-on-7.
Yeah,
not too many people could ever say that. And our second team did, but our first team didn't give up a touchdown on Friday. And those guys communicated well, and it was harder, which was hard on Friday too as well. But when you play all those back-to-back games, it gets even harder. So I just thought that JR had a huge game at safety. I thought our corners played very well, and Cayman Mathis and Mario Buford, they had a great game. Jay Milner-Jones just was all over the place as well. Kylie was all over the place. We called him Mac. He was everywhere. Our linebacker, CJ, just did an outstanding job because I don't carry linebackers. With 7-on-7, I usually don't when in the SQT part. But he did a heck of a job because he can really run. And it was just all those guys right there. The Michael Porter, another big game. So those guys on defense had a huge play in this thing right now, man, and they did it.
That's awesome. Now, you kind of talked about, Trey Wisner and Cedric Harden Jr., a couple guys that transferred over. How those guys adjusting? Seem to be adjusting pretty well. I did see the catch by Cedric, but talk to me about those guys and how they adjusted and bonded with the group.
Well, the good thing about our family here at DeSoto, it doesn't matter where you're from and who you are. Once you transfer in, your family, and that's how we treat them. And Say was in our district. Dr. Mathis remembers him when he was in 8th grade, so he was originally from DeSoto before he moved and everything. And getting a kid like Trey that comes out of nowhere and just or just an instant joy. Just, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're up or down. I mean, he has that bundle of joy that it's just a great spirited kid, man, and I love that. But those two guys, man, they're family. Like anybody else that's Crochet is another one that transferred in. They're family. Jackson Davis, family. I mean, I just know that our family in the culture that we have here at DeSoto, it doesn't matter where you come from, you're gonna get treated as family.
That's awesome. Now, how are you all going to take this momentum from the summer, into the season, and what should everybody expect from the DeSoto Eagles this season?
Well, everybody's talking about 7-on-7 ain't real football. It's da. Man, we don't want to hear all that, and we're not going to hear all that. I mean, because you're not going to take an accomplishment away from our kids, and our kids accomplished something. And you just, if you're going to hate, you're going to hate. But I mean, man, just let our kids enjoy it a little bit, man. I mean, they deserve it. And just that's because it's not, 7-on-7. So, I mean, 11-on-11. So that's boiling us right now. I think that's kind of pissing our kids off right now. We're hearing a lot of chatter out there, but we want it to carry over, and it should carry over. And if we didn't win it, it still was going to get carried over. So it doesn't matter if we won it or not. We're still going to be the same, and we're still going to get better and continue to get better and get ready for this fall, and hopefully have a great year.
Awesome, Coach. Well, man, we definitely appreciate you taking your time out, visit with us, man. Congratulations on that state title again, and we'll definitely be out to catch some games this season.
Hey, I really appreciate it, man. And like I said before, it was brutal. It was brutal, and we really appreciate it. And those kids deserve it. And going to continue to have a great summer and move on. But thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.